Okay, let's run.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to creators of all shapes and sizes that join us from many and all corners of the universe. We find out more about them by taking your questions. I am your host, Ryan of And I Quote channel, and our guest on this episode is someone who has visited our studios once before, but please welcome her back from Flip City Magazine. Kitty Filips is in the building. Hello, Kitty. How are you today?
Hello. I'd like to know what shape and size I am, Ryan. Very rude.
No, I wasn't particularly going that route, but if you want to take it that way, sure. But I try to be respectful of all my guests and everyone who's been a panelist on every single one of our shows. But maybe I made a mistake, faux pas this morning. But it's good to see you, Kitty, nonetheless. Now, if you have any questions for her as we go throughout the course of this episode of And I Quote particularly, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat, and we'll take those as they come in respectively. And if you're watching this live or on a replay, we thank you for being with us, and don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. With that being said, Kitty, what would you say were some of your favorite books or writers growing up?
Probably, okay, if we're talking childhood, I was pretty obsessed with Shel Silverstein. So, yeah, that was, I think I read Where the Sidewalk Ends multiple times growing up. And then once I had my daughter, I exposed her to that. And I remember, gosh, I think she was in third grade. I took that book to read to her class because it was, I don't know, reading week or something like that. And recently, because she's 21 now, and she invited me to come hang out with her and her friends at the bar. And there was a guy there that's like, I remember you from third grade. You came in, read Shel Silverstein, and that was the first time I ever heard of him. And I'm like, was your mom living under a rock? I don't know. Well, I was happy that I got to spread one of my loves of childhood to children.
Well, there you go. All you gotta do is take a look. It's in a book. So, see what I did there?
Indeed.
Yeah, I know. We went there, folks. We went there. Plus, the thing is still going 50 years later. Congratulations to the crew of that one, especially LeVar Burton. Well done, man. With that being said, what were some of your favorite movies or TV series, past or present?
Okay. I guess I'm just thinking a lot of childhood right now, but I do kind of like to brag that my first fandom was Mork and Mindy. I was obsessed with Mork, to the point where my aunt loved showing off that I like to say nanu nanu. So she would give me $1 to go into my uncle's meetings, contractor meetings, and go to every grown adult male and do nanu nanu. I think my uncle was kind of annoyed, but all the people at the meeting seemed to be charmed by it, And I was like 3 or 4 years old going and saying nanu nanu to all of, all of the contractors. And it felt good to get attention, of course. But 3-year-old doesn't want attention.
That's a valid point. Wow, Mork and Mindy, my gosh. Rest in peace to the late, great Robin Williams of that one.
That's right. And I remained a fan, of Robin Williams for the entirety of my life. So that was my first fandom. And then I think the longest running, my favorite movie when I was a young adult was Clerks. I loved Clerks.
Wow, I mean, look at the bright side. I'm not even supposed to be here today. This job would be great if it weren't for all the bleeping customers.
I think you're probably the number one person that can quote movies that I've seen online. It's like, is that all you do?
Probably.
So you work, you stream, and you watch bunches of movies.
I do my best to do the bunches of movies part. I've been kind of lacking on that lately, but I have been doing some rewatches for different reasons. But Clerks was on TV like 2 weeks ago, and I caught it. I caught like the tail end. I think it was like the last 20, 30 minutes of it. And I'm thinking to myself, man, it's been a while since I've seen this. I need to go back and revisit this. Obviously, the conversation they have about the stormtroopers working on the second Star Destroyer and Return of the Jedi, that's classic stuff because that just shows how big of a fan of Star Wars Kevin Smith is.
Right.
Even to this day, 45, 50 years later, which is insane. And then you got, I'm not even supposed to be here today catchphrase. You got the, this place would be so much better if it weren't for all the free, blanking customers. And I've met Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson at Comic-Con before. Two very nice men from Clerks, good guys. They signed, I had a Clerks DVD, but I forgot to bring it with me at that point. So I just got an 8x10 of Clerks from the first movie at their booth. And they both signed it with my favorite quotes from the...
Oh, nice.
They did. They signed it both, and both Dante and Jeff Anderson's character. I'm thinking, oh, this is so cool. And they were so chill. They were great dudes. They were just really nice to talk to. I asked them about, favorite experiences working on the film and, any behind the scenes stuff. And they were great. They were really laid back, chill people. So if you ever get a chance to meet the cast of Clerks, please do so. They're very nice people. I would definitely vouch for that. But Clerks is a good pick. Good quotable lines, good commentary on certain things about working at convenience stores. So, who likes doing that job? Nobody, but they do it anyway because you got to pay them bills, boy.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, and I'm going to tell on myself because I don't watch a lot of superhero movies, but I decided to watch Deadpool for the first time the other night. So that's the most recent film I watched. I was like, okay. It's all right. I love the opening action sequence. I think that's my favorite part of that movie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, congrats. You finally woke up to the 21st century and saw a comic movie based off of Deadpool that's been around for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that movie's getting old. Man, it's crazy. Deadpool came out almost 10 years ago now, I think, or something like that. It's gosh, man.
Yeah, it was 2016. I checked it, and I'm like, wow, I really waited a long time on this one.
I mean, well, there's arguments to be made. I mean, for me, I waited several decades before I saw some of the best films of the 80s and some stuff I missed, a lot of stuff I missed in the 90s, even some of the 2000s. So it's all part of the experience of being a film fan, I should say, a movie buff, if you will.
Right. And you did ask about television.
Yes.
Because I'm actually more of a series watcher.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things. I think the best series of all time, and I don't know if anything will ever replace it, is The Sopranos. Best television. It changed television. And then The Great over on Hulu is fantastic as far as newer stuff goes. I highly recommend everybody go watch The Great.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh gosh, go watch it. It's a satirical retelling of Catherine the Great's rise to power.
Ooh.
And it's hilarious. Hilarious.
Catherine the Great's rise. Okay. I don't hear that name mentioned too often. So
yep.
Gonna have to go back and visit. I'm gonna have to go back and visit that at some point for sure.
Yeah, and if you do, please let me know if you've watched it, because I want to geek out on the Great with other people, because not a ton of people have watched it.
It's got a bit of a small following there,
Not
so to speak.
small.
Maybe, I don't know. Small, big. It's I guess it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Certain characters have more fans than others. Let's be perfectly honest. Like Deadpool has legions of fans. I'm not one of them.
Right.
Which.
Now, did you not like the movie?
Not really. I mean, I've heard of Deadpool over the years because I started reading comics in 2017, respectively, on Batman Day, no less, because I'm Batman. And I delve into Marvel Comics, and I heard of Deadpool. I looked at a few pages, maybe looked at a few titles, and I was like, I don't really get this. And then the movie came out, and of course, I was curious. I want to explore this character, so I went to see the movie with friends of mine at the time, 2016. And I walked out of the theater thinking, okay, maybe there was one or two, maybe three funny parts in there, but other than that, this was terrible. I didn't like this very much. Get out of here.
No, that was how I felt about the movie itself, because I felt like they were trying too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
And it was like joke. Just throw as many stupid jokes your way, and we'll get tons of laughs. But yeah, I don't think I actually laughed at all.
Okay. Yeah,
I might have smirked.
that's fair. It just didn't work for me. I mean, but Deadpool has legions of fans out there, including the actor who portrays him, Ryan freaking Reynolds, who, I mean, my gosh, he plays the same character in every movie, almost every movie he's ever been in his entire career. So, which includes Deadpool, by the way, Ryan. Okay? I know you're watching. All right? It's just... He's done maybe 3 or 4 films where he plays a serious, dramatic role that's really good. And then outside of that, it's Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. I'm like, no. Get out of here. You know, it's hogwash. Anyway, for those of you tuning in wondering what the heck is going on here, this is And I Quote with the incredible Kitty Phillips of Flip City Magazine. Don't worry, we'll get to that soon. And don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. If you have any questions for Kitty or maybe some of her tastes in movies or television series, because she pointed out a few good ones, by the way, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. And don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. If you're watching this live or on a replay, we thank you for being a part of this. We so greatly appreciate it. There's no doubt in my mind. So you know, feel free to watch more comic book movies if you ever get a chance, Kitty. If not, it's, you know, hey, comic book movies aren't for everybody.
Let me ask you this. What's your favorite comic book movie? What would you recommend?
Well, this is going to cause a stir in the comments. Okay, so I grew up, I like DC and Marvel for different reasons because they both have different properties and characters that work for a lot of different people, and that's fine. My favorite comic movie, and this is going to be considered what is known as a hot take on the interwebs. When have I not had a hot take here at And I Quote channel? Man of Steel. Man of Steel. Henry Cavill plays Superman. It's an origin story. It was at the time for 2013 when it came out originally, by the way, the beginning of what was supposed to be the DC cinematic universe led by Zack Snyder. Now, some people like the dude. Some people hate his guts. Take that for what it is. I love the movie. I saw it 5 times in the theater. I'm not ashamed to say it. It almost beat the record. At the time, it held the record for the most amount of times that this guy went to a movie.
That's actually a lot of money to throw at a theater.
But it was Man of Steel, and Superman's my #1 favorite character of all time, to be perfectly honest with you. So Man of Steel holds a special place in my heart. Yeah. So yeah, saw it 5 times, and Henry Cavill is the man. He is the dude. He's the boss. Should have gotten his own trilogy of super loop movies. Unfortunately, that did not happen because of circumstances that were beyond his control. But he had a good run there with Man of Steel and some appearances that he made in other DC Cinematic Universe films that were made at the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, because, like I said, I'm not a huge comic book movie watcher or anything. Seems like a lot of time to invest if you want to know what is going on within the cinematic universe and make all the connections. And to truly be able to dive into and like consume the each individual movie. Is that the case?
Yeah.
To like get it.
Yeah, but in certain movies at the time that was being made in the 2010s of the DC Cinematic Universe, some films stood out from the rest that didn't connect certain things to the other ones. So it was very disjointed. To be perfectly frank, it was very disjointed. There wasn't someone like a Kevin Feige of the MCU running the ship of the DC Cinematic Universe to keep everything in line and to make sure everything was being connected or was in check or something to that effect. So, and once again, these were circumstances that were beyond a lot of people's control at the time. So I'm sorry that happened to a lot of people who worked tirelessly on those 16, 17 films that were made within the DC Cinematic Universe or lack thereof.
Okay.
But I would say the first 3 movies are connected. After that, 3 or 4 movies are connected. After that, it doesn't mean squat.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can watch, to be perfectly honest with you, if you watched Man of Steel and then the next film after that is Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, they threw so many Easter eggs and connectivity at the screen. It was literally like throwing everything but the kitchen sink to connect this universe that hadn't really been established yet in only the second movie. So, but there's a director's cut of that movie that's really good. It's called BVS Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. So feel free to look that up. It's really good. It's a 3-hour cut though. So, but
okay.
That was good. And then, people throw this one under a bus too, and I can understand why, but I still enjoy it. See, I could be in my corner and still enjoy things, folks. Suicide Squad, directed by David Ayer, with Will Smith and Margot Robbie as Deadshot and Harley Quinn, respectively. I like that movie. It's a crazy, wacky, fun, off-the-rails movie that has a very thin plot, but who cares? They're crazy criminals, and they're having a good time. There's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed it. Go ahead. You can throw it under a bus if you want. But hey, it won the Oscar for Best Hair and Makeup. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun fact, Kitty.
Fun fact. Okay.
Yeah, it did. It won the Oscar for Best Hair and Makeup. Suicide Squad did.
Probably will never remember that fun fact.
That's
but
okay.
Thank you for sharing anyway.
You can text me. You can call me. Be like, yo, Ryan, what was that fun fact you mentioned? It's fine. You can call me later. It's okay. It's not a big. You can text me later about it. It's no big deal. It's okay. It's fine. What also is fine. Not only learning about new movies and new TV series that the person who may be watching or listening to this may not be aware of, but just to go into this here, let's cut right to the chase, if you don't mind me saying so. So, Flip City Magazine. Let's talk about that. So, what exactly is Flip City Magazine, and how did it come to be?
Look, I have that right here sitting next to me. Thank you for sharing our most recent print cover.
No
Flip City Magazine is a comic satire rag in the vein of Mad Magazine, when it was subversive and kind of cutting satire. So we basically have a very sharp edge to slaughter all sacred cows. So if you pick up a Flip City Magazine, feel yourself being offended, it's likely we have just kind of poked one of your sacred cows. So it's a variety magazine as well. We always have a lead parody. In this edition is The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, where we send him to France, just like they did in the spin-off show that they gave him. So he gets into some shenanigans, pointless shenanigans in France. It's packed with a ton of laughs. We do satirical articles. We always have a short story and what I call a grab bag of gags. For example, in this edition, we have a mini magazine called For Men Lonely, which is kind of a satirical take on men's magazines.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And jokes.
Poking fun at some of those little bears over there. Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
And so Andrew Tate's in there telling you how to score with chicks and,
oh boy,
stuff like that. So basically it's laughs cover to cover, and we're silly and wacky.
Silly and wacky. Two words that go together like peas and carrots.
I'd say peanut butter and chocolate.
Peanut butter and chocolate. Really? Okay. I was more of a peanut butter sandwich fan myself, but
because you need the salty and sweet mashed together.
No, I guess you're right. On that front. I guess I should try to combine peanut butter and chocolate on my sandwiches or something one day. I don't know. Or grab some of those granola bars, because Lord knows they have plenty of those lying around the grocery store aisles.
I'm like, they make Reese's peanut butter cups, right?
Oh,
you
tons
have to
of
make
that. Yeah,
a peanut butter chocolate sandwich. No,
that's very true. There's tons of those lying around too. So feel free to make yourself one, or just buy your local Reese's. # not a sponsor of this very program, but if they want to be, give us a call. Maybe, I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Hey, if it works for ET in the '80s, it can work for us here. So
those are Reese's Pieces.
Exactly, Reese's Pieces. Yeah, Phone Home, ET, whatever. What's his name? Spielberg made that one.
That guy.
Yeah, that dude has been making films for like 50 years, which is crazy to think about, by the way. Gosh, that's a long time.
It sure is. What was Steven Spielberg's first movie? Do you know?
Well, I know. I'm pretty sure it was one or two little films before he made Jaws in '75.
So Jaws was his first blockbuster.
I mean, that was his first blockbuster, but he was making films before Jaws came out. So I just don't remember what the names of those movies were. I apologize. I don't have that information in front of me. But if someone who may be watching or listening to this does, let us know what Spielberg's first directing gig was before he got to Jaws in 1975, respectively. So, because Lord knows Jaws made us afraid to go into the water. So, I don't know. People watch it every summer before before the 4th of July. You know, it's a tradition for a lot of people. It is. It is. I'm not lying. And I know there's a friend of ours here at And I Quote channel who's been on our show a few times. His name is crime fiction writer Bobby Nash. BobbyNash.com. Make sure you look him up. He writes some great stories. He's probably one of the biggest Jaws fans I've ever seen in my life. He's got Jaws Funko Pops, Jaws posters, Jaws banners, all kinds of stuff that are Jaws related in his background or in his home or in his studio. And I'm thinking, you're going to need a bigger house. I'm dropping those lines on him. I'm like, Bobby, you keep this up, man. You're going to need a much bigger house to put all these collectibles up, son. So,
nice.
Well,
yeah. That was that train went down a different track, didn't it?
Sometimes we stay on the rails, but sometimes where we're going, Kitty, we don't need roads. So anyway. Aside from that, Flip City Magazine, let's talk about that for a minute. So what are some of the rewards about being a co-publisher of this magazine?
Rewards? Well, let's see. I think one of my favorite things is being able to network within the indie comics space. You get to meet a lot of really, really cool, talented people that are in what I view as building up culture. You know, we see a lot of people have YouTube channels that are giant, that are just complaining about culture. I really like being in the smaller indie circles where they're not so much complaining about, you know, the giant force-fed culture that I, you know, believe is being fed to the general public. And instead, they're just making great stories and publishing them themselves. So that's been really fun, and something I really enjoy doing is networking with other indies and talking to them on my own show. So yeah, that's been fun. That's been a bonus of mine. Let's see what else. I mean, of course, our readership and being able to talk to them is really cool because we've built up a loyal and somewhat salty audience because of the content that we put out. And I come from a customer service background and like to practice my communication methods and things like that. With doing customer service with this magazine has been so fun because people will come at us hard and strong, and I get to be a little bit salty, but mix in my sweet customer service with it. And our readers freaking love it. So they come out me being rude, and I'm a little rude, but funny. And so that's been an interesting experience. And I'd say about 95% of the time it lands, and they get back to me and laugh, and, you know, and it works. It works. So yeah, I love our readers.
No, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. On a different side of the fence, though, what are some of the biggest challenges about being a co-publisher of a magazine?
Making sure we get everything out on time, all the time, because we are a quarterly publishing schedule and a subscription-based model. So we're quite a bit different than what regular indies do, where they're just crowdfunding and they hit their goal or they don't hit their goal, and they make decisions from there. With us, we started with a subscription-based model. We took off really quick in our first couple of years. So we've been able to kind of stay on our publishing schedule. But once in a while, we'll hit a couple bad months where the revenue's not coming in as much, and we're panicking. It's like, okay, we have print to pay for, we have our artists to pay for, and we're just squeezing by for that time period. So I think that's been our biggest challenge, and kind of why we've decided to jump into the crowdfunding market is to expand our audience to people that actually love physical media and comics and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where our focus is right now, is getting extra revenue through crowdfunding. And of course, we have our regular subscribers who renew automatically. So yeah, making sure we get it out on time. Biggest challenge.
There you go. Timing is everything, people.
Well, especially when you're doing a periodical.
Yes, yes, very true. Deadlines, schedules need to be met, deadlines need to be met. So all there, and when it comes to scheduling, for sure. Now, here's another one for you. Do you believe is print media such as these magazines, including yours, Flip City Magazine? Do you think print media is still going to be around in 10 years since a lot of things have been switching to digital?
I believe it is. And that's another reason we want to expand our audience to the people that really appreciate physical media. Is they want it. They want it in their hands. With Flip City itself, and we've been told this multiple times, is people will get our free edition, which you can get on at flipcitymag.com. You can download our free edition, and then they'll come back and subscribe to the print edition. And then they'll get back to us once they receive it in their hands. It's like, okay, I liked your free edition. That's why I subscribed, but nothing compares to holding it in your hand. You know, it's, I don't know. What is it? What is it, Ryan, about physical media? Are you a physical media collector? Do you like it?
To be perfectly honest, yes, I'm a big proponent of it. I got tons of DVDs, I got tons of Blu-rays, I got tons of television series on DVD as well. I also found some TV series on Blu-ray for some other sources, and they've been a lot of fun to watch. They've been a lot of fun to see because you can't find them on streaming services. So that's why I'm such a big proponent of physical media. Yeah. So yes, to be perfectly honest, I have those CD holders that can hold DVDs. I have tons of them now, so I can keep everything in check. So yes, I do agree with having physical media in your hands, whether it's a magazine, whether it's a book, whether it's a comic book, because comics are fun too, ladies and gentlemen. Comics, and by the way, support your local comic shops when you have an opportunity to do so. Local comic shops are great, fantastic businesses. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about comic book shops and these comic book shops themselves seem like probably one of the larger brick and mortar or mom and pop it's like they can't be conglomerated into some big corporation where basically everything else has, but comic book shops are holding their own, as individual small brick and mortar businesses. I can't think of any other industry where that is the case. So that's pretty cool.
It is. It absolutely is. And any chance I can get, and I can spare the time away from my busy schedule, I go to my local comic shop, see how everybody's doing, maybe buy a thing or two, whether it's a Funko Pop or a comic book or a DVD that I don't already own, because it's always good to have backups. Now, I'm a big fan of Blu-rays, but I also am a fan of DVDs, even still to this day. It's like, hey, the Blu-ray's having a bad day, or you want a backup, and you're at a friend's house and they don't have access to a Blu-ray player, but they have a DVD player, then you have the DVD with you. And plus, Blu-ray players are backwards compatible, so they take both Blu-rays and DVDs and CDs and all that other stuff. So it just helps to have backups, people.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing too about owning physical media. And I think more people are starting to think this way. Like, it was really cool to like easily access your favorite movie and not have to get out a machine to put a DVD in and all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of novel, to be able to just stream something or purchase like on Amazon a movie. But you don't own it. You literally do not own it. They may say you own it, but who knows? You may lose access to your account for some reason, or they can easily take it away from you. But when you're actually holding a piece of physical media in your hand, you actually own it. It is mine. And nobody can take it away from me.
That's very true. You make some excellent points, and we hope you are enjoying this excellent episode, I should say, of And I Quote with Kitty Filips of Flip City Magazine. Do not forget to like and share this with everyone you know. If you have any questions for her, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. If you're joining us live or what is known as a replay, we thank you so much for being here. But make sure you visit your local comic shops, buy some comics, buy some DVDs, buy some physical media. It's a lot of fun, and I got 3 short boxes full of comics to prove it. So, hey, I'm supporting people. It's great because teamwork makes the dream work, people. That's just how it works. So what are the plans for Flip City Magazine moving forward the next 5 or 10 years?
Oh, my gosh. Thinking into the future. Well, our plan is to get famous, of course. you know. Something we are working on right now, and we've been working on it for over a year, is actual physical distribution to newsstands. That has been a challenge in itself because Barnes and Noble is the gold standard. So if you want national distribution for a magazine, and this is different within the comic industry because comics don't go on newsstands. So we are pursuing newsstand distribution. I've been working with consultants to figure out how national distribution works. And basically, if you want to be in other retail stores beyond Barnes and Noble has to accept you first. And when you're dealing with spicy content in our day and age right now, I've been given about a 70% chance, even though our content is worthy of being on newsstands because it looks really good, it's professional, we may not be accepted into Barnes and Noble. And to get that process started, it takes money. So it's kind of like it's a major gamble to submit to Barnes and Noble because you'd want to do it through a consultant that understands how newsstand distribution works. Because you don't want to go in there being an idiot saying, hey, Barnes and Noble, you want to pick up my magazine? You want somebody who knows what they're doing. So you have to give them a bit of money to go work on your behalf. So it's kind of a stalemate right now because we are an indie and we are a niche publication. So we don't have endless bucks to just throw at, consultants and all this kind of stuff. But once we do, through internet sales or crowdfunding, I am going to move forward with it, see if we can get accepted into Barnes Noble. And if we are, I think we're on our path to becoming famous and rich. So that's my 10-year goals is get famous and rich.
So in the words of our friendly neighborhood Dr. Jones, fortune and glory, kid, fortune and glory. So, I mean, which, hey, oddly enough, Temple of Doom turns the big 4-0 later this summer, which we'll be celebrating on Movie Watch Along. That's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you who are Indiana Jones fans. Good gosh.
Well, and you guys remember to hit that like button.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, 100%. And yes, please feel free to share this with all of your closest friends. This episode of Ain't I Quote, among other things. And aside from that, and that sounds like a great plan, and we hope the odds are ever in your favor. So,
thank you.
Little Hunger Games there for you. So, outside of that, what advice would you give to aspiring indie writers or indie publishers out there?
Go in with a plan. Think out like what Ryan just asked. What are our 10-year plans? Think your plan out. Also realize if you are an indie doing your own book, you have to know that you're going to wear all the hats. And marketing is probably the hardest and most cringe feeling thing you can do, because I know that artists don't really like talking about themselves so much. It feels weird, so you need to get comfortable being your own advocate, but also have a plan. What do you want? What do you want in 5 years? And then jot it down and start working towards those goals.
Mic drop moment right there. Good advice. There's no doubt. What was I going to say? No doubt about it. That is for sure. Any special memories for you from being at conventions or other events, whether you're there as a vendor selling the magazine or there as an attendee meeting the biggest stars in the universe, aside from yourself?
So I'm going to tell on myself, and I have never been to a Comic-Con.
Oh boy!
But it's
boy.
My plan, and this is something I was so happy because I see that you're always posting pictures when you're at cons, and I'm like, all right, Ryan might be a really good resource for me either on this stream or off stream, and I can DM you like, hey, how do you do this? But it is in my plans this year to at least get 3 under my belt local cons. I am in Southern California, and there's stuff that is drivable for us, because I want to see how we do. I want to see if it's a profitable thing, if people sneer at us. I don't know, because I've never been to one. So yeah, I want to vend. Plus, I love meeting people in real meet space, especially in the digital age today. I'm like, I want to go out and meet people and show them our wares.
Well, that's great. And we sincerely hope that you do get a chance to go to Comic-Cons. They are a lot of fun. You get to meet so many different kinds of people there, and you get to network with other people. Networking is so important, no matter what industry you're in. So definitely visit your local Comic-Cons in your area. Check your local listings. I know I sound like a cliche billboard, but definitely check your list. And you're in California, for Pete's sake. California's got tons of shows, so you're going to be just fine.
I think we'll be just fine as well. And yes,
California.
And that's the thing. We're 60 miles outside of Los Angeles, so that's drivable. Basically, I want to take the temperature. Are we going to be able to make enough money to where I can go to further Comic-Cons where I have to also pay for a hotel and food and all those expenses?
Well, that is a valid question. Speaking of California, if I'm not mistaken, the show that's going on right now this weekend is WonderCon.
Yes, that is the case. And I wish I would have known earlier, because I have to do all my own research to find what is going on. I saw WonderCon a few weeks ago, and of course it was too late to put in an application to be a vendor, but it's on my list for next year.
Wow. Anything is possible in the new year of 2025, which is crazy to think, but it'll be here before we know it, guys.
It's true.
Time flies.
Have you noticed the older you get, it seems like time flies even faster every single year?
Yeah, it's scary. I'm not used to getting so old, but anyway, hey, it's a part of life, people. It's a part of life. But yes, when you get older, time seems to go more than 88 miles per hour, and you see some serious blank. So, yeah, the best piece of advice I can give you is spend your time wisely and spend it with your loved ones as much as you can. Spend it with your friends as much as you can, because once it's gone, it's gone. So, in the words of 1985's Ferris, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you could miss it. See? We can learn a few things from these movies that came out in certain decades. I'm telling you.
That was actually on my list of favorite movies, I think, before Clerks. I was probably in my teenage years. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was my favorite movie.
No kidding.
No kidding. I mean, who doesn't love that movie? My husband.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. Because I wanted to understand the hype train that it's been on for so many decades. So I went ahead and finally watched the movie some years ago. And I thought, okay, this movie's fine. It's got moments for sure, like any John Hughes movie would, but it's not the best. When it comes to John Hughes, I put The Breakfast Club up here. Ferris Bueller's like down here.
I think Breakfast Club is better than Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So now, I don't know if other people of my age have told people of your age the way it worked. I think movies were popular because so this is back in the age of VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think more people owned Ferris Bueller's Day Off on VHS than owned Breakfast Club. And that's probably why it was more popular. That is my theory.
Maybe so. There's a valid argument. Maybe there's a potential valid argument to be made about that. But the other thing is, I believe it's next year, if I'm not mistaken. And I might be wrong about this. I think Ferris Bueller came out before Breakfast Club. I think Ferris Bueller was 84. Breakfast Club came out in 85. I know that for a fact.
That doesn't feel right.
I know. We're getting too young for this. But the good news is, next year, in the year of 2025, we're going to be sitting in this studio celebrating the greatness that is The Breakfast Club. That turns the big 4-0 next year. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll get Kitty in on that one.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, maybe you should come in and watch. Join us for the movie. You can watch. You can watch it on your side of the fence. Because we have to do certain things to avoid copyright issues. But yeah, you can join us, watch the movie, and share your favorite memories of the movie, all that kind of stuff. I think it'd be fun for you.
I'll just sit there waiting for the very end, where he goes like this.
Yeah, with the fist pump in the air. Yeah, it's a good one, and it's a great soundtrack too. It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever anyone could hear in a movie. The 80s. I mean, the 80s had the best music. My gosh, so good. It is.
They-
It's timeless. You know?
80s music is all right.
Oh, I think it's personally, I think it's great. But hey, you know what they say, right, Kitty? To each their own. To each their own. But
Hey, my favorite band in the world is the Talking Heads. So, and they're an 80s band.
okay, because I was going to say Talking Heads. What exactly is that? Because I didn't see that one coming. So,
You
what's
don't
your favorite?
know who
What's your favorite song by them? What is it?
Oh, my favorite song?
Yeah.
I can tell you a popular song that you probably know.
Which one?
Um,
What's it called?
wait. Oh, brain work. I'm trying to think of one that you might know because
Okay.
they're very popular.
It
No, that's a Beatles song. Oh my God. Burning down the house. Burning down the house.
Oh, that I know.
Yeah, that's Talking Heads.
Okay, that's who that. Okay, got it. So now we put these two things together and we get an answer to the question. Great,
Yeah.
thank you. Now I see where you were going with that originally. So it makes a lot of sense now. Some of us don't know all the music in certain bands that were making albums and putting out music during their respective decades. Sorry, I wasn't there for a lot of this stuff. I'm a bit young bit young here,
Well,
but it happens.
I highly recommend if you like 80s music, go check out Talking Heads. They're great.
Good news, we have access to YouTube, folks. You can go in there and find music from all different kinds of bands and different generations and different eras, too. It's great.
Mhm.
So just enjoy the music. Music is great. Music is the language of the soul. Just enjoy it. It's great. Music is great. But I do want to let you know that not only is this a super episode of And I Quote with our guest of honor, Kitty Phillips of Flip City Magazine, here on this episode. Don't forget to like and share this to everyone you know. If you have any questions for her, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. If you're watching this live or what is known as a replay, we thank you for being here. But I do want to let you know that this episode of And I Quote is indeed powered by our good friends at Poddex. Now, Poddex specifically are the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to have more meaningful conversations or gamify their podcast. You simply shuffle up the cards, you ask a question, and you let the content roll. Get yours today at poddex.com and use that promo code Ryan10. That's RYAN10 for 10% off your order. Check out our friends over there at poddex.com. Maybe something that Flip City Magazine can potentially use somewhere down the line. But in the meantime, before Flip City Magazine starts making phone calls and getting new sponsorships, potentially, you never know. Possibilities are endless in 2024. Which living person do you most admire, Kitty?
Living person.
That you most admire at this point?
My husband.
Cheater. No, I'm kidding. You're cheating on the question. No, I'm kidding. No, she's married. She lived happily ever after. She's got her Prince Charming. Let her have it.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. The grind he puts in to write about 80% of every edition that we put out and edit and publish, like, he is my freaking hero, and he's so funny. Or my dad. My dad's freaking awesome too. Like you said, appreciate your family, spend time with your family
as much as you can.
Yeah, right. My dad is, I think, 72, and he's still climbing ladders and working on cars, and a very active, wonderful, fun guy. I like fun people, and both my husband and my dad are very fun.
Well, that's just beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's excellent, as one might say. So great stuff. Great stuff. We appreciate you sharing that with us. There's no doubt about it. I'm glad that your dad is still roaming around, climbing ladders, doing things, whatever that has to be done, and spending time with your family is very important. So who is your favorite hero of fiction, though?
Hero of fiction. Let's see.
Because Lord knows it's not Deadpool.
No, I mean, he's not even a hero, right?
No, he's more of an anti-hero, kind of villain, weirdo.
He's more like a butthole.
Yeah, it's one of those words we can't say, but yes, we get it.
Oh, really? That was...
No. You can't say it that way. I'm just saying the other version of that word we can't say, but yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The other version. Yeah, but this one is fine.
Hero of fiction.
Yeah. Who's your favorite hero of fiction is the question.
Is this a question from Poddex?
Yes, our good friends at Poddex want to know. They're curious.
Man. I think that's so funny because I'm trying to think of like the type of stuff I read and watch. And I guess I really like terrible people. So I'm obsessed with The Sopranos, and that's what I've watched recently. And Tony's not a hero.
No.
Carmela is probably one of the worst people in you know, I don't know. Who's yours? Who's your hero fiction?
I think we discussed this a few moments ago in this very program.
Superman.
Superman, Clark Kent. He's my boy. He's my man. So yeah, he's my number one. But if you want to,
how about Frodo? I love Frodo.
Frodo Baggins.
Yeah.
Of Lord of the Rings fame, I'm assuming.
Yeah. He was a good hero.
That's true. That's very true. But man, when he walks into Mordor and he takes the ring and he takes like 6 hours to dump that thing in the fire, because Sam is like, "Do it, Frodo! Do it! Do it now!" And Frodo keeps looking at it like because it's seducing him, to keep it on himself. It's like, dude, we waited 3 hours for this movie to be over. You're just standing there. Like, do your job, okay? You were hired to do a simple job. Go to Mordor, take that ring, throw it in the fires of Mordor, and you couldn't. Like, it took you 6 hours to do it. Okay,
it is true. Really, and now, how long is that though? How long in the movie is he standing there? Is it like 2 minutes?
It feels like 6 hours. Okay, let's be honest. Listen, there are two different cuts of each of these movies. We're talking about Lord of the Rings specifically. There's the theatrical cuts, which are 3 hours long, and then there's the extended cuts, which are released on physical media, which, by the way, you can still find. 4 hours to 4.5 hours long. And I'm thinking, well, thank goodness I wasn't here for the extended cut editions of these movies, because there's no way you're going to have me sitting in the theater for 4.5 hours. Okay, I have enough trouble sitting there for 3. But then again, certain movies that turned out to be 3 hours are some of the best movies ever made. Case in point, James Cameron's Titanic, one of the greatest movies of all time. Look at Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, 2 of the best comic movies ever made. Those movies hit 3 hours. Look at The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises is a criminally underrated comic book movie. That movie's at 2:45. It's nearly 3 hours long, and it's one of the best comic book movies ever made. But a lot of people throw it under the bus for certain reasons, and I can understand why. But for me personally, I enjoyed it. So let me have my enjoyment and move on. So
you don't have to engage in the internet fights.
No, but they seem to be everywhere you look on the interwebs. But to be perfectly frank, certain fandoms can be very toxic. And let's get rid of the toxicity. Let's just respect each other's fandoms and move on with our lives. Some people come to me and they say, "Why do you like this movie over here or this movie over there? It's trash." I'm like, "Not to me, it isn't. I think it's great." He says, "Why?" And then I try to explain to them the best way I know how why certain movies are good or ones that I enjoy. And some people get it, some people don't, and that's fine. You're not meant to understand everything that I enjoy. It's just stuff that I enjoy. It's my personal opinion. It's not fact. So,
right.
Take it for what you will. But if you want to sit in the theater for 4.5 hours and watch Lord of the Rings for 4.5 hours, knock yourself out. I do like Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. The first movie is my favorite of that trilogy. But man, he's standing there with the ring. Like, come on, dude.
So you're not a fan of the trilogy?
I respect the trilogy, but I don't love it.
That is interesting. I don't know if I've ever spoken to anybody that didn't love the trilogy.
I mean, it's fine, but I don't love it. I mean, the only thing I like about the trilogy is the first movie. Fellowship of the Ring is the best one, in my opinion.
That works.
I like Fellowship of the Ring. I love that movie. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best fantasy adventure movies ever made.
Yeah. Well, you know what I just said? I didn't know anybody that didn't really like the movies that much or whatever, the trilogy. Well, my husband, but he's a hater. He hates everything. So
he's the opposite of you. He hates everything while you love everything.
I don't love everything, but
you don't. Okay.
but I like a whole lot more than he does. And although he'll sit and watch stuff that he doesn't like. And I completely accept this about him and actually find it entertaining. He'll sit and goof on whatever I'm watching the entire time. And he's very funny. And so once in a while, I'm like, just be quiet. I'm trying to watch this. But other times he's just off goofing on the movie. I guess it's like, that one show where the guys comment on bad movies.
Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yes. I have my own Mystery Science Fiction Theater 3000.
Right. Mystery Science Theater. Yeah, there you go. Works.
Yeah.
Well, hey, relationships are about compromise, ladies and gentlemen. They're about compromise. That's what relationships are about. So just respect each other to the best of your ability. That's all I can say. But Poddex is curious, though. Outside of favorite heroes of fiction that we mentioned earlier, which talent would you most like to have?
Oh, what? Now, any kind of talent, like real
Yeah.
or
Yeah, like playing an instrument, maybe, writing a New York Times bestseller, or being more than famous, being infamous, the infamous,
well, we're already infamous.
Yeah, that's true. You already reached El Guapo's level of infamy there. The infamous. Yeah,
Gosh,
yeah. Which
what
talent would you
ta-
most
what
like to have?
what
Yeah,
talent?
yeah. It could be anything.
I think I'd like to be a really good popper and locker. I love those freaking like the scrolling. If I see a good pop and lock,
Oh yes.
I can't stop watching it.
Oh,
It's fascinating to me. So if I could like pop and lock like the best, I think that's the talent I would want.
oh. All right. Well, for someone who may be
Because
watching or listening to this, that could be construed into a couple of different things, but we're not going to go into that.
you know what popping and locking is, right? Where you look like you're floating around. You're like, you, me.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I'm pushing 50, and how I've never seen anybody my age and a woman pop and lock. So I think I could get famous doing it because it's like, dude, look at that lady. She's almost 50 and she's popping and locking with the best of the teenagers.
That's a fair that's a fair assessment,
That'd be
fair thing
cool.
to say.
Yeah.
So that's a valid point. We wouldn't have guessed 50 though. None of us here in the studios would have said 50. But hey, we're all young at heart, so let's just keep it that way.
Pushing. I'm not 50 yet. My birthday is in a few days.
Oh, happy
But
early
I'm not
birthday.
it's not my 50th birthday.
Okay, well, in any case, behalf of myself and everyone here at Anti-Quote Channel, we wish you a happy early birthday.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, happy early birthday, and treat yourself, as they say on Parks and Rec. What?
Oh, yeah, it was Parks and
Yeah, it
Rec.
was Parks and Rec. Treat yourself. Mm-hmm.
That was a good show.
It had its moments. It did. It really did. Yeah, I need to go back and
Had
revisit
its
that.
moments?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen all of it yet.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I need to go back. I need to binge watch Parks and Rec. I haven't seen all of it yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My daughter, one of her favorite shows is it's not Parks and Rec.
Is it The Office?
No, it's not The Office. It's the one with
It's not The Office.
Jeff and Community.
Oh, Community. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty funny show.
With the guy from, oh gosh, what's his name, from Talk Soup? Oh, Joe McHale. Joe McHale. Yeah.
Yes.
It's that dude. It's that dude. Well, it's him among many other cast members, but yes, it's an ensemble cast. Community is what we were thinking of there a moment ago.
Yeah, and I think they do some popping and locking in that show.
Oh gosh. Oh boy, these terminologies are going to be searched on the interwebs for years to come after this episode is completed. but on the pod deck side of the fence, what characteristic are you most known for?
Let's see, what characteristic?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say my sense of humor. I don't know if that's true. But
No. It helps to have a sense of humor about things.
Yes. I'm hilarious in my own mind.
Boy, oh boy, what a show that's gonna be. Outside of the one that she's currently on, which in this case is Anti-Quote on Anti-Quote Channel. But what do you consider to be your greatest achievement so far?
Let's see. Probably raising a really awesome person, my daughter. She's so sweet and funny and giving. I'm pretty proud of her.
Is she involved with the making of the magazine, or does she have her own thing going on?
Yeah, she has her own thing going on. In fact, she is these past few weeks, she's been building out the Renaissance Fair in Southern California. So her and her boyfriend are down there building it out. And apparently that is a lot of ditch digging and hard work and all that kind of stuff. And they're getting buff and tan. So I haven't seen either of them in a few weeks. And I'm excited to see them when fair opens this next week. I'm going to go to opening day. So no, she does not really help with the magazine. In fact, back when she was a teenager and we first launched, she read an issue and we slaughtered one of her own sacred cows and made her cry. And it took her another couple of years to ever open the magazine again.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
made
well,
fun of somebody that she
hmm.
liked. But she's, she's matured and now
Yeah.
she'll look at it and laugh at the magazine. And then
Oh.
we laugh how we made her cry with her content.
Good Lord. Basically, there was a mix of emotions going on at one point in the Phillips house. So
Mhm.
we'll hey, things happen. So just let it slide. It happens. Get over it and move on to the next thing, I should say. But congratulations to her and the Ren Fair. Ren Fair is big no matter where you turn. So, and she's building all the sets, which is great. That's fantastic. Does she dress up or just build the sets?
She actually works at the cupcake booth when the fair opens. And I think her first year working at fair, she pretty much spent all the money that she was making on fair garb. So now she has a whole wardrobe of all kinds of different costumes, and hopefully will save some of her money this year because she won't need to buy as much.
There you go. Be very safe. Be conservative with your cash flow, ladies and gentlemen, if you can be, because Lord knows I got a wardrobe over here on the opposite side of my set for all my cosplays. So that's
What's your favorite thing to cosplay?
cosplay. I would say the one that I really I mean, it's my first one I ever did, and that was a lot of fun. I had one or two, maybe three people come up to me during one of my first cons and ask me to take a picture with them. Indiana Jones.
Nice.
I go as Indiana Jones. I have two versions, though. I have the Last Crusade version, and I have the Raiders of the Lost Ark version. So what that means is that when I'm dressing up as Last Crusade, I have the Grail Diary with me, or the Holy Grail Cup from Indiana Jones and Last Crusade. That's what I do with that outfit. Now, in my Raiders of the Lost Ark outfit, I'm still wearing the hat, still wearing the whole deal, but what I have with me at that point is the statue, the fertility statue that he steals in the beginning of the movie, or I just walk around with no treasures in my satchel, because in the beginning of Raiders, all he has is the bag of sand. So I don't really have anything on my person. I just go as Indiana Jones, but I have a very specifically made hat that's made in the style of the opening shot of Raiders of the Lost Ark when he whips that gun out of the guy's hand, at the river there. So it's great. So I would say Indiana Jones is probably my first favorite, and then my second favorite would be a Jedi Knight from Star Wars. I love Star Wars, so I go as a Jedi Knight. I have the brown robe, I have the garb, the outfit, the tunic, the whole nine, and I do have a lightsaber, ladies and gentlemen. So
nice.
And those
nice.
pictures are available to you. You can check out my cosplay photos on our Instagram account at And I Quote Channel and at RyanRPM5. So feel free to scope those out. Cosplay is fun. So, and it really is. When you dress up as a character, it's a lot of fun, and your daughter can attest to that. So, dressing up in the Ren Fair outfits, I mean. So I've never been to a Ren Fair before, so that's one of those things I got to cross off my bucket list at some point. I haven't done it yet, so
they're really fun. They're really fun.
Yeah.
You can either go and spend lots and lots of money on all the cool stuff and great food that they have, or you can go on the cheap because your ticket allows you to go see all the entertainment that's going on, so
I'm gonna have to keep that in mind the next time the Ren Fair is in town in my neck of the woods of the great state of Maryland, for those of us wondering where we are in our different studios across this country. But I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the one and only Kitty Filips of Flip City Magazine for being our guest on this episode of And I Quote. Kitty, it's been good to see you. Congratulations on all your success and the creative team over there at Flip City Magazine. We wish you nothing but the best with things moving forward. And hey, the Ren Fair is coming up in California, so give our best to your family out there. So what is it, Kitty? If someone's watching or listening to this and they want to find out more about you or Flip City Magazine, where's the best place to find you?
The best place to find everything at Flip City is to go to flipcitymag.com. You can find all of our socials on that website. If for some reason you don't want to go to a website, you can find Flip City across so many different social platforms at Flip City Mag. I'd say we were most active over on Twitter X. yeah, so at Flip City Mag across social media. If you want to connect directly with me on X, it's at Kitty Flip City. So there's 3 ways to find us.
What? All right. Very clever username there, I would say. Very, very clever. Kitty Flip City. It's Kitty Flip City Hotel, California. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to get into that. I'm sorry. Things happen. Acapella, anybody? Do we have that? No, we don't. But what we...
Yes. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm just going to bust in here for 1 sec.
Yeah, sure.
We are running a special right now for people that subscribe at flipcitymag.com. If you subscribe to a year of print editions, you're also getting a bonus print edition sent and a bonus digital edition sent immediately. So you're getting 2 free magazines plus the 4 magazines that come with your subscription. So 6 magazines for the price of a subscription, and that ends tomorrow. So through the end of March, go subscribe at flipcitymag.com and you'll get 2 free magazines.
Ooh, priceless. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, it's just like those old ads. Priceless. Thank you for sharing that with us, Kitty. I'm going to be talking to you here in just a moment. My name is Ryan of And I Quote Channel. Follow us at And I Quote Channel on all forms of social media, I should say. Follow me personally on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Links to where you can follow Flip City Magazine as well as myself are located in the description of this episode of And I Quote. So check out those links. Check out Flip City Magazine. Check out all the wonderful things we got going on. And I also want to let you know that if you want to support the show, we have a Buy Me a Coffee /pizza because we like pizza around here. Does Kitty and Flip City Magazine like pizza? Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. But if you want to support the show, we got a link for that in the description and on our social media channels. And if you like merch, because who doesn't like merch, Kitty? Honestly, who does not like merch? We got shirts, we got hoodies, we got stickers, we got coffee mugs. We have all kinds of great things. We have, I mean, heck, we even got, what do you call these? We have stationery, for Pete's sake. And it's all in the link in our bio and in the description below. So definitely check that out. Also, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every single person who have helped us reach this milestone of 1,000 plus subscribers on this channel. And we are going to celebrate that. We're going to do it. We're going to do it big. And we're going to go all night long on Friday, April the 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at And I Quote Channel. Follow us there. We're going to have returning guests. We're going to have some special guests. Some surprises are going to be in store for you. And we're also going to be announcing the winners of our giveaways. And I'm going to be posting information about those giveaways coming up here very soon on our Instagram page and across our other social media channels. So make sure you're following us, because if you want to get in on these giveaways, they're going to include PDFs of comics. That's right. Comic books, Kitty. Comic books. PDFs, baby. We're also going to be doing 11x17 prints brought to you by our good friend, The Art of John Pinto on Facebook.com. Make sure you check them out there. We're going to be having so many great things are coming your way, but we cannot wait. I am so excited. We are excited as a community, as a family, to celebrate this milestone of 1,000 subscribers with you, our incredible fans / subscribers, on Friday. That's April the 5th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. That's when we go live. Join us. We're going to be on for a few hours. Maybe we'll go up. Maybe we'll stay up all night. We're going to be sharing our favorite memories of what we've had on this channel thus far. We're going to share some of our plans for the future. We're going to be announcing the winners of our giveaways. So if you want to win those giveaways, you got to tune in and find out if you're going to win it live, or you can go back and watch it on the replay. We're going to contact the winners respectively with their contact information. We'll take care of all that stuff. So don't worry about a thing. Just like the song says, don't you worry about a thing. And we're going to be celebrating Friday, April 5th. So join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see you there. And we're very excited. With that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And remember, life is better when supporting indie creators of all kinds. Take a look.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics. Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Good morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.